Once we acknowledge this, the rest becomes all too clear. The trickle-down effect of the left's tactics run deep, and that means the FBI's true target is not so much one man as it is every last freedom-loving man, woman, and child within America's borders. We are the targets of that raid ultimately, specifically our minds. In the aftermath of the raid, one man threatened an FBI field office in Ohio. He was eventually hounded to a cornfield and killed before he could harm a hair on the head of a single FBI agent. The leaders in America's largest criminal syndicate were quick to conflate this failed attack with speech that is critical of their flagrant abuses. Unfounded attacks on the integrity of the FBI erode respect for the rule of law and are a grave disservice to the men and women who sacrifice so much to protect others, said Director Wray. Violence and threats against law enforcement, including the FBI, are dangerous and should be deeply concerning to all Americans, Merrick Garland said. I cannot stand by silently when their integrity is unfairly attacked. The men and women of the FBI and the Justice Department are dedicated, patriotic public servants. According to our overlords, when you criticize the FBI, you are attacking the innocent little cherubs in federal law enforcement. Far from being the perpetrators of crime, they are the innocent victims of unfounded attacks and threats. This is called narrative building. The corrupt Garland has done this before. Last year, he claimed without evidence that irate parents at school board meetings were issuing threats of violence. The narrative that is being built here is that conservatives, Republicans, Christians, and MAGA supporters represent an intolerable danger to this country. This narrative is being pushed hard. Case in point, according to a Department of Homeland Security memo obtained by CBS News on the weekend after the raid, quote, the FBI and DHS have observed an increase in violent threats posted on social media against federal officials and facilities, including a threat to place a so-called dirty bomb in front of FBI headquarters and issuing general calls for civil war and armed rebellion. A dirty bomb? That's nearly as believable as the story that Trump was hoarding nuclear secrets at Mar-a-Lago. Never mind the fact that the closest most Trump supporters ever even got to a dirty bomb would be the porta-john at a local chili cook-off nearby. When we look at the extent of narrative shaping going on in the media, the intent of the Biden regime becomes even more clear. And in case you doubt that media and government collaborate on these narratives, you need only remember the Russia collusion hoax we just mentioned. Or how about Alex Berenson, a prior guest on the show, who detailed a coordinated campaign in the media to defame him, a campaign that it turns out was explicitly coordinated by the Biden regime and the media. Look at the coordinated reaction to the repeal of Roe v. Wade.